Hello YouTube family, thanks for joining me on this video. Thanks again, and please, if you like the videos, give me a like. If you like the videos and you have not yet subscribed to the channel, you can give me a subscribe, help the channel grow, and join in as often as possible for the videos. Please leave me comments, let me know where I'm right, where I'm wrong, and by all means, if there's something you want me to do a video on, let me know in the comments. I'll read the comments regularly, week by week. And this video is on a bit on the lighter side of news. It's entertainment, but it still has social bearing because we all enjoy entertainment. And this video is relating to the lawsuit I'm sure some of you are aware of, filed by Black Widow star Scarlett Johansson against the Disney Corporation. So late last month, Scarlett Johansson filed a lawsuit in LA Superior Court against the Disney company over the film Black Widow. The allegation is that Disney broke their contract when they released Black Widow, with the film Black Widow, simultaneously in theaters and on their streaming platform Disney Plus. Now, supposedly, the contract between Johansson and Disney was done in 2017 before Disney launched Disney Plus. I've not yet seen anything that says that the Disney people were creating Disney Plus. They were aware that Disney Plus was going to exist down the road. But when she signed her contract, there was no Disney Plus streaming service that existed. And Miss Johansson alleges that her agreement with Disney's Marvel Entertainment guaranteed an exclusive theatrical release. That is, at the time she signed her contract, there was no streaming release possible. As a Disney spokesperson said, Ms. Johansson has already been compensated $20 million for the film. He said it is especially sad and distressing in its callous disregard for the horrific and prolonged effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, as he's trying to hit Scarlett Johansson for being this uncaring woman, callous woman who's just out to get money no matter what's going on around it. And I mean, let's face it, Disney released this film in theaters during the COVID-19 pandemic while it was still going on, so his words ring absolutely hollow. Nick LaSalle of Datebook had said, years ago there was a guy in my neighborhood who needed money. So he went to the local mobster and agreed to drive a locked suitcase 300 miles, leave the car at a designated spot, and then take public transportation back. For this, he would be paid $3,000. He did it, terrified all the while driving the speed limit and shaking every time he saw a cop car behind him. He made it, however, there and back, and was fine. And the next day after he returned, he went to the mobster to get paid. When he went to see the mobster dropped $800 down on the table. They looked at each other. Then the guy took the $800 and left. What could he do? He's not going to go to the police. He's not going to sue a mobster. There's nothing he could do. And this guy claims that is the age-old problem of selling your soul to the devil. Reading that guy's article, I could tell that when he watched this movie, I have not yet watched the film. I will. I've watched all the other MCU movies, Marvel Comics Universe movies. I will watch this movie. but I have not yet. The guy from Datebook had watched it, and he gave a blisteringly horrible review. Granted, he said all of the MCU movies sucked, so I don't know what movies he particularly likes, but apparently not those. I like plenty of the Marvel Comics Universe movies. I wouldn't say I disliked any of them. But a bit of history: when James Cagney and Bette Davis struck against Warner Brothers, they were criticized for striking for more money during a depression. How can you strike for more money when people are in bread lines? That was decades ago when James Cagney and Bette Davis were striking against Warner Brothers. I believe it was James Warner, one of the brothers, was criticizing Cagney and Davis because there was a depression going on. There were people begging for food, and they were striking for more money, for better pay. Granted, the Warner Brothers themselves weren't struggling. They weren't in bread lines. They made plenty of money. And one of the things that kept making money, even during the Depression years, were films. And so you have this tradition of the studios are going to attack the actors if the actors make any moves like this. And what Johansson is doing is not striking. She didn't sign a contract, then refuse to show up to the set to film until she gets paid more. She signed a contract which included apparently $20 million up front, and then a percentage of the theatrical revenue, which is what she's suing for, because instead of a full exclusive theatrical release, the movie was released in theaters and on the streaming platform, which cuts a chunk of Johansson's income out. Other actresses are considering their own lawsuits, including Emily Blunt and Emma Stone. Since Disney Plus launched, it has surpassed 100 million subscribers, and the company's valuation has increased to $320 billion. Disney is doing fine, in other words. Hollywood has been moving to abolish profit participation, that is, actors getting a percentage of the box office, since Netflix started buying up talent with large upfront payments. When talent searches for upfront money, budgets are driven up. The 90-day theatrical window has been driven down to 45 days. Movies are migrating more and more to digital platforms. And as digital platforms buy up talent, they begin to limit options for actors. It is a buyout being done by the digital platforms. And the actors who are agreeing to those upfront large payments from players like Netflix know they're being bought out. They're choosing to allow it. Disney has been accused of a gendered attack against Johansson when they made the comment that women and when they made the comment about the pandemic stuff. Women and girls are perceived as less able than men to protect their own interests without facing ad hominem criticism that's coming from people in the industry that are defending what Johansson's doing, and that includes the SAG, Screen Actors Guild AFTRA, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists. President Gabrielle Carteris apparently is an actress herself and was when I was reading about it, I think it said she was on 90210, the old TV show. I didn't watch when it was on either. I never watched that show. But she addressed the situation in this way: actors must be compensated for their work according to their contracts. Nobody in any field of work should fall victim to the surprise reductions in expected compensation, which is exactly what Johansson is complaining about and what she's filed a suit for. She signed a contract. $20 million up front, a percentage of the box office. I believe her agent said that she could miss out on as much as $50 million from the box office take, depending on how well the box office does. And now, because a portion of the fans are going to watch it on Disney Plus, the box office is definitely going to be lower. Cortez went on to say it is unreasonable and unjust for people to have to accept lower compensation than what they've been contracted to expect. Apparently, Kevin Feige, the head of Marvel Studios, preferred a purely theatrical release and is also upset by the furor that's going on between Johansson and Disney. He, like Johansson, wanted a purely theatrical release for at least the 45 days that is now the window for a new release to be in the theaters. Media analysts say former Disney chief Bob Iger would never have let an altercation with talent reach the level of a lawsuit. That's how times are changing. Bob Iger is out at Disney. They have a new CEO who is willing to go to war to try and get more of the money for themselves, basically is what it is. For the entertainment consuming public, it is all about cost and convenience. People enjoy consuming content on their schedule. That's why the digital platforms, the streaming platforms have become so popular. You can sit at home and even if you, your wife, whatever, have weird schedules, you can just pick a time when you're at home with your wife, with your kids, that you can sit down and stream one of these movies. The convenience, plus the cost. It said the cost, even if you're a Disney Plus subscriber, which I assume has a monthly cost of somewhere around $10 a month, it seems to be what they all seem to cost. You still had to pay $30 to watch this movie as a new release. And honestly, if you are a man with a wife and two kids, for you to take your wife and two kids to the movie, buy tickets, buy concessions, whatever, it's going to cost more than $30 to go see the movie at the theater. So some people will save money and watch it at home, particularly if they have a particularly large screen TV, if they have a sound system that will allow them to enjoy a theater quality movie at home. It's cheaper that way, plus they can watch it on their schedule, which is what's making these digital platforms so profitable and so popular. If Johansson loses, actors will be trying to negotiate the largest upfront deals they can for the films they are in. If Johansson wins, it will be a paradigm shift. That was one of the industry insiders that commented on the magnitude of this fight. You have Scarlett Johansson, one of many actors, and granted, I would assume she's considered an A-list celebrity, an A-list actor. There are still plenty of A-list actors out there, male and female. But as that insider was saying, if Johansson loses, this signals the absolute end of shared compensation from the theater. And so all actors will be looking for money up front. So if they expect to make $40 million for a film, they want it paid up front. That will just be part of the cost of production of the film. And you have some people, some rando, average people like me, who will criticize Scarlett Johansson because they'll look at what Disney's saying and say, she already got $20 million. Why does she need more money? Why does she want more money? How much money do you need to be happy? And I have a different take on it. And one thing I want the people watching this video to understand is, and some of you probably already do understand, let's face it, there's plenty of smart people out there. Actors are gig workers. You know, you have gig workers in Uber, in Lyft, in DoorDash. You have gig workers in construction. People who work for trade unions, whether they're a welder or a something else, you know. With trade unions, you know, as a gig worker, you will go work a job in this state for a period of time. Then you'll go here or here or here, work a different job. And actors are gig workers. Scarlett Johansson is not an employee with Disney. She's not an employee for Marvel Entertainment. She is her own boss. She works for herself. She's an independent contractor. She signs a contract with every movie she does, with every individual studio she works for. She'll sign a new contract. And so she's got to look at, in that contract, how much she wants to get paid for the project she's got to do. And along with being self-employed, these actors have a lot of people who work for them. You know, and I'm not an actor, so I don't know all the people that work for them, but I know an actor's going to have a manager and an agent. They're going to have a publicist. They're going to have a makeup artist. They're going to have a stylist. They're going to have all these different people that they have to pay. And so, yeah, I mean, $20 million is a lot of money, and I'm sure out of the $20 million Scarlett Johansson made up front, she's getting a decent amount of it, but she still has to pay taxes. If she lives in California, she's got to pay federal tax. She's got to pay California tax. She's got to pay the agent, who is going to make a percentage. She's got to pay the manager, who may make a percentage. She's got to pay the makeup guy. She's got to pay the publicist, the stylist. I don't know if they get percentages of what she makes, and that's just what they accept as payment, or if she has to pay them on a regular salary. She's going to have bodyguards. She's a young, attractive woman, so she's going to be threatened by men. Not only is she a young, attractive woman, she's one who is famous and is on screen. She's in the public eye, so she's going to have stuff like stalkers. She's going to have to hire security. I don't know if she goes with security 24/7. I don't know if she hires security when she's doing films only or if she's traveling only. I don't know if she hires security sporadically as she feels like she needs security because she's traveling on vacation or for a film or whatever. Or if she'll hire a security team if she's going to go out shopping for the day. You know, she's going to have a lawyer. She's going to have an accountant. She's going to have all these people working for her. All of them are taking pieces of that money. And so, yeah, I mean, for someone like Scarlett Johansson, when she's signing the contract, she is a business person who is thinking about Scarlett Johansson Inc. And she's trying to figure out, how much money am I going to make? Because this goes here, this goes there, this goes here, this goes there. I mean, stuff like Black Widow, that's an action film. She uses a lot of martial arts moves, and I'm sure she's trained with people in martial arts before, so she can learn and utilize martial arts techniques that look good on film, but she may use people like that constantly if she's acting in a movie like that, because she expects to make $20 million up front and this percentage of the box office. You know, and then, so that's the thing. When you have all these people you're paying, some people who are film specific, some people who you are paying regularly throughout your career. When you suddenly have your income reduced drastically, that can sting really bad financially for you. And it would suck if she did this movie, paid all the entities she has to pay between the government, local and federal tax, all the people that work for her, and she came out with nothing in the end. I don't know if it could break down that way, but I know between around 13% in California in tax, 37% for the government's tax. I mean, that's 50% gone there, $10 million. Then she's got to pay an agent, and so if she's paying an agent, you know, 10% of the $20 million. That's $2 million. That's down to 8. I mean, the money goes faster than you would think. And so someone like Scarlett Johansson has to figure out, how much money am I going to make? Do I get some up front? Am I getting part of the box office? If I'm not getting part of the box office, I need more up front, because I have all these mouths I got to feed that depend on my career. And that's the thing I wanted to stress about this. She's not just some greedy person wanting more money. She's standing up for an industry who have been taken advantage of before. You have plenty of actors in the past who have had to sue television networks, studios, film studios, TV studios, whatever, because they got screwed over. And she's trying to make sure that more people don't get screwed over. That's what this fight is about. And as I broke it down, there's a lot of places her money goes to. I don't know that she pays the full tax in California or the full federal income tax. There are plenty of deductions I'm sure she takes out to decrease her tax burden. But as you can see, that $20 million she got paid up front can get eaten up fast. I mean, just from state and federal tax, if she was to pay all that she owes for her income, half of that's gone. It gets cut from 20 to 10 between state and federal income tax. So that leaves her with $10 million to pay a manager, an agent, to pay if she has a martial arts person working on this film for her, whatever she's paying him, the stylist, the makeup artist, the publicist, all these different people, all the security people, whatever, all the people I don't know about because I'm not an actor. So she has a lot of places she has to pay money to. And so this is not just $20 million in her bank account. The money she got up front is part of her compensation. The other part is supposed to be the theatrical percentage she gets. If the theatrical money gets cut drastically, then what she gets paid gets cut drastically. And all of a sudden she's coming out with a lot less money than she expected from the film. But that's the video for today. Please let me know in the comments whether you liked the video. You can give me a like, a subscribe. Let me know if there's some video you want me to opine on, or some subject you want me to opine on in a video. By all means, I will work on that. Most of the time I spend with this channel is just doing the research, reading about all this stuff I talk about. But that's the video on the Scarlett Johansson Walt Disney, or not, I guess it's not called Walt Disney anymore, the Disney Company lawsuit being filed by Scarlett Johansson. Thanks for watching. By all means, have a good day.